Welcome to the Heart of Innovation. We are live, I guess, on the internet, and hopefully you didn't hear our conversation about my hair in the Paralympics, but we have a great show ahead. Hair aside, get ready to meet our hope and inspiration.
KDOW.biz on our mobile app, tune in, iHeart, and the Odyssey app. We go where you go. AM 1220 KDOW.
Sponsored by The Way to My Heart Incorporated.
Welcome to the Heart of Innovation, 60 minutes that could save life and limb with new breakthrough ideas and innovation changing the healthcare landscape. Brought to you by Patient Advocacy Group, the Global PAD Association at padhealth.org, in partnership with Reflow Medical, the pulse of medical ingenuity. Here are your hosts for the Heart of Innovation, Emmy Award-winning journalist and founder of the Global PAD Association, Kym McNicholas, and interventional cardiologist and founder of Save My Piggies Health and Wellness, Dr. John Phillips.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the show. I am so excited about this show because we have one of my good friends and a fellow PAD warrior, a wonderful human out of Georgia who has peripheral artery disease, that poor circulation in the legs, who is offering hope and inspiration to so many. He has found his calling, and I'm so excited to introduce you to someone I think you might already know, you might be familiar with. He might have come around over the holidays, right, Dr. Phillips? Might have visited your home
It's like
over
that.
Christmas.
It's the scene
Big
from
hits.
Elf when Elf sees the big guy and freaks out and screams, "Santa, Santa!"
Santa! It's
It's awesome.
Santa! I love
Yes,
it. So I can't wait to introduce everyone to our Santa slash PAD warrior in just a moment. But first, Dr. John, what do you think? A moment of inspiration?
of course, of course.
Dr. John Phillips, spectacular, vascular moment of inspiration.
So, of course, since it's the 27th of December, 2 days after Christmas, hope everybody had a nice Christmas and holiday season and continue to have a good holiday season. So I look for a quote from Saint Nicholas or something
Oh,
around
good.
Santa Claus.
Love it.
Now, this
Yeah.
is I this is an unknown quote, but I think it sums up who Santa is and the season, and obviously, I think dovetails nicely into our conversation. So, someone is quoted as saying, "The greatest thing is not to believe in Santa Claus; it is to be Santa Claus, because it is often better to
Wow.
give than to receive."
I love that. I think it's so perfect for today because we have Robert here, Santa Robert, here with us, who literally doesn't just believe in Santa Claus. He has become Santa Claus, right, Robert?
Hi, everybody. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh, I love it. I
Merry
mean, he is
Christmas.
Dr. John, that is not a fake beard. I have
That is
met
that is the
Robert
real
in
whiskers.
person. Those are real. And
Well,
Santa,
something like
you're
that.
only in your 40s, right?
I am 51,
51.
51 years old. So
But you have those natural whiskers that they're not dyed. That's natural early gray.
well, it's a mixture of a little bit of. There's a little bit of bleach in there too. When you started talking about your hair, I had to do my hair too.
Did you really? Oh my goodness,
I
look at
did.
that. We match actually.
We do match a lot. That is the
We do.
that is the original color of my hair when I was a kid, though. So
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. So I'm not even sure where we should start with this because, you and I met because you do have PAD. You, have had also an aortic aneurysm
mhm.
that I don't remember if it dissected, but I know you had to have it stented in an emergency
well, they
situation. Did you
they
not?
they stented first in hopes that would help it and everything. And
Yeah.
I had the kissing stents. So the
Oh,
kissing stents failed. They fell in on each other, I guess, is what happened, kind of the way they explained it to me. But then the aneurysm grew, and I actually didn't know it was growing until the day I went into the hospital where I could barely walk in there. I was pretty much crawling through the door, and they get me in, they scan me, and they're like, we got to go to the operating room now. And I was begging them to let me go home and see my family before I did the surgery. I was like, but they're like, you're not going to live if we don't go to surgery now. So within 1 hour, they had assembled a team from Emory that came over to the VA hospital and did my surgery. And I remember waking up the next day because that's whenever they cut from center of your chest all the way down. And so they had opened me wide open and gone in and done that bypass thing. And the bypass was great for a while and now I'm occluded again. So I'm just waiting to see what our options are later down the road, which I'm just holding off on any more surgeries because I don't want to have surgery. But
no, you're trying to walk and
that's
build
it.
lateral vessels. And I know it's a really tough journey, but now you have reindeer and you can fly. You don't need to walk as much.
I still like to get out and walk. I got to get out and walk and walk
I'm
and
just
walk.
messing with you. Yes.
You gotta
Exactly.
monitor the elves, make sure that they're performing appropriately.
I walk around the
Back to the
factory.
floor. Yeah, I was gonna say. But Rob, could I ask real quick?
Yes, sir.
Because you've sparked a little interest in me. So you're a young guy. You had this the stenting and then the surgical repair. I'm assuming in your 40s. So do you have a genetic predisposition for this? Any family members or?
Well, funny you say that because my father is now 70 something years old, and we think that he might have it, but he's never been diagnosed. And no, we have a genetic disposition to having like heart problems and stuff like that. But I didn't help myself out when I was younger. I smoked for 30 years.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was one of my biggest downfalls was doing that. Smoking's not good for you. And so, I mean, I tell everybody, get away.
You're probably you were on the naughty list there for a while then, huh, Santa?
I was on the naughty list for a while. But, I mean, I was athletic before.
All right. But
From the doctor, you were on the naughty list. I love this. This is just awesome. But now you have found a very different calling. Coming up next, right here on the Heart of Innovation, we're going to get to what inspired Santa Rob to put on this Santa hat and offer hope to so many. So stay with us right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away.
I go good.
That was great.
Is that costume warm? Must be. Huh?
Yeah,
I have the
75
AC on in
degrees
my
there.
car. I have the AC blowing on me.
I was gonna say, wow.
Yeah, it got hot earlier.
It'd be great. So Dr. John, it's really impacted his life, his job. He's been floating around with different jobs, things like that, because he couldn't do what he was passionate about, what he was really good at. He needed to support his son. So he needed to, he's been really working hard. And I don't know at what point, Rob, I want to get to the aha moment for you in realizing this was your calling, because Dr. John, he's also getting ready. I mean, this is his true calling. He's going to go to Santa College, everything moving forward. And it's not really just a job. It's really his true purpose and calling. He's always been that type of person, has lived his life of service. He started during this process doing more with his church, doing a lot of media work with his church, production work. And, I'm curious if there was
30 seconds.
like that moment of calling, but it might be worth starting with how PAD really affected his life, his career, what he was doing at the time,
Sure.
and how slowly it's
Yeah.
evolved.
Let's do it.
Like you, we say what's wrong and what's right, unfiltered and unapologetic. Salem News Channel. We're the answer to the mainstream media. Learn more at snc.tv.
AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kym McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Welcome back to the show. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas to everybody. Special guest today, we have Santa Rob. So Rob, first segment, we were just chatting a little bit about some of your vascular history. So why don't you take us to when you were initially diagnosed? Like what were you doing work-wise, or what was your vocation? Because clearly now your calling has changed, and you're jumping in with both feet and going to Santa College here pretty soon, I hear.
Yeah. Well, originally I started out in the pool business, and I was building swimming pools as a plumber for them. And then, of course, all the issues, this has been an ongoing issue for probably 12 years. I've been dealing with this now. I'm not exactly sure the exact timeline, but it's been quite a while and everything. And so it affected me, just slowly progressed and everything. I mean, the first ABI I had, I was probably like 0.7 on those ABIs. And then whenever it got down to where I finally had to have the intervention and everything, I was at 0.2 and 0.3 on my ABIs.
Wow, you were in advanced stage critical ischemia.
Yeah, I was in critical ischemia. And so it was, but whenever I got to that point, I just could not walk to do my job. So I gave up what I enjoyed doing. I was working outdoors. I was working with a cousin of mine, and we enjoyed traveling around the whole Southeast region together. Everything, just building swimming pools, making people happy. So I had to do something, and I'm a single dad, so I was raising my son by myself. So I started doing Uber, which I found out I love doing Uber because I get to talk to people, and then I get to make, some people get in my car, they're not having a very good day. So I get to talk to them, and maybe I can find out and help them smile. And that kind of segue into the whole Santa Claus gig, because I had a lot of people saying, you make a perfect Santa Claus. And I just kept saying, blowing it off and everything. And then finally, one of my friends, he's like, you need to be Santa Claus. I think he said, you're going to really enjoy it. And this is my first year doing Santa Claus, and I really have fallen in love with it. I get to see the faces of the kids light up, even seeing adult faces light up. It makes me happy to see people smile.
But I want to go back, because you are that type of person, and you and I have gotten together in person a couple of times. He's volunteered his time for the Global PAD Association when we've had some PAD testing events over in Georgia, and people just fell in love with him. He's so personable, and they walk up there, they're scared, they're learning about PAD, and his warmth, his charm, his spirit just has everybody just lighting up, when they come to the table. And his passion is just contagious. But I want to also add that when he was an Uber driver, he sent a couple of people to the Global PAD Association, the Leg Saver Hotline, and we were able to save their legs because he inspired them to give a call and to get the help they need, right, Santa Rob?
Oh, exactly. That's one of the first things when people said they're having issues with walking and stuff like that. I start doing those little probing questions, asking simple things like, hey, has the hair fell off all your legs? Because that was one of my first signs.
He's in the Uber car and as an Uber driver.
Yeah, I love it, right? An Uber driver.
Is the hair falling off your legs?
I'm very straight. I'm pretty straightforward with them. And I'm telling them, hey, you need to go and get ABIs done. I said, this is the only way you're going to find out why you can't walk. Everything. So, and I know there's other avenues, but I firmly believe ABIs should be done fairly soon, because I was told for 3 or 4 years that I had sciatica. That's what
Yeah.
they kept telling me, sciatica, sciatica, sciatica. This. I'm like, this is not sciatica. Thing. I mean, yes, it hurt like sciatica does, but
not uncommon.
No,
so
it's really not. And Senator Rob, you are a military veteran as
I
well.
am. Yes, I served
Can you
in
tell us?
served in the military back in the '90s. Everything
Wow.
had joined towards the end of the first Persian Gulf War. I was a military police. Really enjoyed that. And then after I got out, I moved to Florida and wound up down there in Florida for a while. And I was a volunteer firefighter starting out, and then became a paid firefighter after that. And really
Wow.
enjoyed that. So
You've done a little bit of everything.
I've had a good career, I have to say.
Life of
I've enjoyed.
service. I love it.
But it's
Yep.
so incredible because, he was such an active guy. I mean, that must have been a real blow to go
Yeah.
from being someone that it is the power of what a cigarette can do, though, in a negative
Exactly.
way, though. And it's a good lesson for others that here, you're an active guy, you were an outdoorsman, you even have a YouTube channel, Pad Life Outdoors, because you are still trying to find ways in which you can thrive, hiking and biking and enjoying the life in the wilderness with your son.
I
Oh
think
yeah.
actually I caught a YouTube video of the two of you. Kimmy had a pink or a purple hat on. Looked like you were outside. This must have been a couple years ago.
It
Rob, you didn't have the full beard.
No.
But yeah, you guys were doing some outdoors things. So two things. Number one, we can't emphasize it enough. Tobacco use is a killer. In fact, yesterday I was taking care of a patient who we thought he might lose his leg. He still might. We were able to, he had some significant blockages. We were able to get him open. But I pretty much looked at him and his wife because one of the biggest issues we run into is if your partner smokes, it's really difficult for you to quit smoking, right? And so I said, listen, man, you're going to lose your leg if you keep smoking. And right then and there, they both said, I think we're done. And I said, yeah, I think you're done too. So kudos to you,
Wow.
Rob, for, now you're on the nice list because you don't smoke anymore, at least from my standpoint, right?
4.5 years of no smoking. And you know what? I enjoyed the fresh air a lot better.
Isn't that interesting? How long
I bet.
into, how long past your diagnosis did it take you to actually quit? Was it something that they said on day one, hey, you have PAD, you need to stop smoking? Or was this something that progressed forward for years before you finally put the last one down?
I was stubborn. I was really stubborn, and I thought I can just do it all on my own and everything. I tried to quit several times, just with no luck. And finally, the day I had my bypass and everything was the day that was my last cigarette. Was that day? So 4.5 years ago, on August 30th, 2021, I think so. And
Good for you.
I haven't looked back. I just
saved your life.
cold turkey quit, and I should have done it a long time ago, but I was stubborn, and I was like, I need this. To me, smoking was a stress reliever for me, I think. So I mean, just the stress of life and stuff like that really was hard to deal with, and so I've learned how to redirect when I get stressed and everything, and to turn something stressful into something positive. So,
And literally, and you also, was that about the time when you really dove into your faith?
oh yeah,
Four
I
and a half
mean,
years ago.
I've always had a background, going to church, but not on a regular basis, everything.
Mhm.
And yes, I started getting deeper into my faith, and I joined a great church that has just been so supportive of me and everything that I've been through. I think even in times, back in June of this year, I was in the hospital, and my church stepped up, and they were bringing meals to me in my home and stuff like that. Just, to help out, relieve stress and stuff like that for me. I think so. They really made a big difference. And I say, having a spiritual background and believing in God, to me, makes a big difference. Everything. I don't think if I would be able to do any of this if I didn't believe in God. everything, because I always tell everybody, I said, there's a reason why somebody's been brought into my life,
Yeah.
everything, and I might not know it, but God knows exactly why He's put somebody in my life, everything. So, and I've come across so many great people. Kym, you've been wonderful to me, everything. You've been God sent to me, because I've learned so much from you.
Well, I feel so blessed to have you in my life as well. And I can't wait to learn more about your journey next, right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. So stay with us. Could be interesting. Rob, wasn't it? And I'm having this horrible flashback right now. Um, when you were in the hospital, um, getting ready for that bypass, I would remember being very helpful. I was like, "Oh my God, what are they doing? Why are they doing
Yeah,
open? What's going on?" And I don't think you knew at the time, though, it was an
I did.
aneurysm. You thought it
Yeah,
was
I did
just
not
your
know.
kissing stents.
Yeah, no, we had no clue fully. I
Hmm.
didn't understand what it was about, and I really didn't understand it fully until I got medical records and was able to look at it deeper and kind of understand more from that. Because to be honest, the VA is not the best at sharing information with us, the thing. So I mean, they just say we need to do this, we need to do it now, and it was kind of a rush thing. And I'm like, I don't want to do this, but go ahead, do what you got to do, because I'm not gonna, I don't want to die. That was the big thing. I was like, because they just made it sound like if I waited any longer, that I was, I was gonna take my last breath.
Yeah, and he's
So
sitting here in a group and he's with me in text, and we're thinking it's just the iliac stents that just needed
yeah,
cleaned out. And it's like, you have iliac stents that why are they going in? Why are they making such a big production on iliac stents just being blocked?
yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I
Hello?
wonder, Rob, if you had that's interesting. So you didn't know you had aneurysmal disease. Did you have
No, I didn't.
aneurysms with obviously not within the stents, but above the stents in the aorta? Is that what they must have
Yeah,
fixed
it was
that or
aortic.
bypassed that?
It was aortic, right
Okay.
above the stent. So they bypass. I guess the way it's kind of been explained is like bypass from the bottom of the heart down back to the legs, where the below the where the kissing
Mm-hmm.
stents were. So
Through
I
an
guess
aorta
that
by
was,
fem. But that wasn't, I mean, they didn't just, it was a big deal. It had to have been, maybe you could explain, because I mean, the people that I know that had an aneurysm, they just
oh,
went in there and stented that, but it was probably because, I mean, whatever was going on, they were like, yeah, we're
yeah,
just
we
going
got to
around
take care
that
of this
shit.
now. Yep. And it was kind of,
Well, yeah, I
strange.
mean part of the problem is if you have prior stents, you really can't put a stent graft system in an aneurysm. It's pretty difficult. There's
30
not enough
seconds.
space. Um,
Okay.
But Rob, I'd love to next segment's about almost 10 minutes. Let's talk about the journey to get to Santa Claus because that's what I want to know, and as do the kids want to know who are listening in.
Yeah, and your experiences with it, because getting the Santa suit, like during your first experience, your first foray into it, what was that conversation like? And um, who finally got you to put the Santa suit? And then you supposedly, like, everything just fell into place. Someone
1220
just gave you this
KDOW.
$500 suit and stuff. So
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kym McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. Frankly, I cannot think of a better topic for a show 2 days after Christmas to speak with Santa Rob, a gentleman who struggled with PAD but is, persevering, pushing on, and he took on the calling, and he's now Santa. So, Rob, again, it's not like I could say, I think I'm just going to be Santa, right? I mean, like, there's certain characteristics that you have to have. Obviously, somebody had mentioned like you need to consider doing it, but it's a calling, right, for you, and you've jumped in the water, right? You've got the
Like
beautiful
head
beard
first.
head first.
We're
Oh
not
yeah,
talking about dipping those toes.
No, man, you are
I, de-
swimming deep you're in the deep end.
I definitely I jumped into it really not knowing a whole lot about it. I mean, I know playing Santa. I mean, a lot of people are like, okay, you just sit there and you take pictures and you wave or thing. But I learned a lot more. There's a lot deeper meaning into it because people come up to you and they want their picture taken, and they just like start, even adults who come back and they start telling you about their childhoods and being with their first Santa Claus and stuff like that. So to me, it's kind of nostalgic, and being able to listen to those stories and just really express, I mean, gratitude for them choosing me, number one. I mean, because there's so many of us out there and there's a lot of great Santas out there. There's some that are
Was
fair,
there
but
ever was there ever a moment when you thought, what is my purpose in life? Because I remember conversations you and I have had where you said, God, I'm no longer in the military. I'm can't firefight anymore. I can't build pools anymore. Like, what am I going to do? I have a son I need to support. I just don't know where to go. And I have this, PAD, I have an aneurysm fixed, but I'm not that same person. I can't be that active guy. What am I going to do?
well, it's kind of funny because I've always been a believer that God will provide no matter what I'm doing in my life. And I think he honestly put Doug in my place as my friend, who actually the one who gave me my first suit and everything. The suit cost $500, and I didn't have $500 to start up being Santa Claus. So he's helped me progress into this with my first suit and everything.
So
And
did he buy it for you, or did he just happen to have a Santa suit sitting in the back of his closet?
this is his first suit he ever wore when
So
he
he
became
was
Santa
Santa
Claus
Claus.
for
Wow.
18 years. For
What?
18, yeah. And he wears custom suits now that cost $3,000.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh yeah. So
okay.
he's really deep into it. You go to his house, and his house is Christmas year round inside. And he's got Santa stuff all over the place.
So
Very
how did you
interesting guy.
meet Doug? How did you
Doug
meet this guy?
Doug works at the self checkout at the Kroger by my house, and I've
Okay.
known him for about 5 years because that's where I go shopping at. And every time I come across him, he's always had that jolly ho 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 attitude and everything.
The
So
beard to match, right? So like,
oh yeah, he definitely has the beard.
that's the thing. That beard has to be on you year round, right? You can't. I
Oh yeah.
mean,
Well, a lot of Santos do shave it all off and start
really?
fresh every year.
Okay.
I'm keeping mine. I'm going to do it year round, and who knows? I've had people talk about possibly using me in like print ad or even movies or television shows or everything. Even if it's just a background Santa, I would love to do something like that. To me, that's fun.
So Rob, how does this work? Like, okay, you decide you want to play Santa. I mean,
Hmm.
how do you get a gig? How do you get into the mall? How do you get into wherever to be Santa?
Yeah, what was that first one, that first
Yeah.
foray
What's your
into it?
breakout?
Yeah,
It was kind of funny.
what's
My
the
my
breakout?
friend had told me he said you need to make sure you get some sort of presence online. So I started up Sugar Hill Santa on Facebook. That's my Facebook page. Everything. So I started posting pictures of me in Santa outfits just around my house and in my yard, and started using that. And then I started TikTok, and I started Instagram, and then
You
everybody's like,
really
"Oh,
dove in.
you need to get on Gig Salad." Well, Gig Salad is a place where you go for entertainers to get hired, and they take a percentage, which is not a very big percentage, but that's how I got my first gig, was through Gig Salad. And so whenever I got that very first one, I was nervous. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was going in blindly, not knowing what to expect and everything. I talked to my friend, and just go in there and make the kids happy.
So do they tell you like, hey, you're gonna go sit in this chair for X number of hours and just what I mean, ask kids what they want, or how does that work?
Kids are going to come up to me, ask what they want, or stuff like that. Or I even had one where I went to and I handed out presents. I called the kids' names out, handed out presents to them, and they could sit up there and take pictures with me while they opened their presents, everything. And all the presents were from Santa Claus. So the kids were really excited about that, everything. But most of the time, it's just get up, take pictures, tell me what you want, stuff like that, and or I kind of go the extra mile. I do home visits too, where I go do private parties at home, and there might only be 2 or 3 kids there, but I find out their names before I go there.
Okay.
I find out what they got for Christmas, their big present from last year, so then I can go in there and I call them by name and ask them how they like their present from last year, and that just blows their minds whenever they see. I mean, Santa remembers their name and what they got from last year. So
It was
that just
interesting that Doug was really about promoting you. Are there really that many Santa gigs around that he could handle having a little extra competition?
Well, Doug is, I said, he's been doing this for 18 years. So he is actually booked entirely for the whole season the year beforehand.
Oh,
And
wow.
I actually rebooked 5 of my gigs from this year for next
Good
year.
for
So
you.
yeah, I already
No
have bookings
way.
for next year. I think.
And
And I'm looking at stuff like Christmas in July. I'm looking for stuff to do gigs during that time. So I'm one of these ones. You know me. I'm the one who goes out. I'm a go-getter type person. So
yeah.
I really.
What's the craziest gift request that you've gotten that you can say on the air?
Oh no! I mean, I get. I want a
PG, please.
Lamborghini. I want a Lamborghini. I want a motorcycle. Stuff like that. I mean, you got 5-year-olds asking for Lamborghinis and
Okay.
stuff. I've been asked for a pony and everything. And of course, Santa's response is, "We'll see what we can do." Everything we never make promises that we're going to get something for them unless a parent specifically says they're asking for this and we're going to get it for them. So then I can go ahead and say, yeah, Santa's going to make sure you get that. But
Yeah,
You get a
how
lot
do
of
you
it.
handle those moments when they're asking for things and you can't make that promise that they're going to get it, but you also still want them to believe in Santa whether or not they get that gift? I mean, a 5-year-old saying, "Hey, I want a Lamborghini, you're Santa Claus. If you don't get me that Lamborghini, I'm no longer going to believe."
well, luckily I haven't run across that situation and everything. But I mean, I do have kids who question, "Hey, are you the real Santa Claus?" And they ask how old I am and everything. So I do have to know like the lore of Santa Claus. And
How
Santa
old
Claus
are
is
you,
now
Santa?
1,755 years old.
Wow.
So,
You
so
look
it's
Wow,
really
been
good.
the whole
You look
idea.
really good.
1,755. And I'm imagining that, I mean, you're the type, again, you deep dive into these things, you go head first. So how did you learn all you needed to know about Santa? Are there YouTube videos out there for someone who
There,
has not yet gone to Santa school?
there are lots of YouTube videos, even from the Santa School itself. You can find out a lot of YouTube stuff through YouTube there. I think so. I watched a ton of videos, and I literally I look for the mannerisms too, learn the mannerisms of how they react and stuff, because you never know what you're going to step into. You might be asked to do a parade where all you're doing is just standing on a float, waving at everybody, and that's all you do is just wave and smile, everything. Which I'm open for anything. So
Coming up next, right here on the Heart of Innovation, we're going to hear about his future aspirations as Santa, including his plight to go to Santa school. Also, we do have a couple of questions coming in from our live studio audience, so stay with us right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away. This is great. And Heinz, do you have any questions for Santa as well? I know I want to get Douglas. Can you turn your camera sideways for me, please? I don't want you to. There you go. That'd be great. Let's see if Heinz has a question. We
No
can
question.
come up with something.
Gotta
us.
ask.
try.
Yeah, well, Heinz, just tell them what you want what you wanted for Christmas, or maybe next year what you want.
I just want good health. That's all I want.
All right, that's
All right.
cool.
My phone is doing something weird. I don't know how to get it back to the screen where I can see everybody.
Joshua, can you help?
All I see is a button that says,
Oops, he just muted himself.
There you go.
There he
All right.
is.
I see you now.
all right. All right. I won't touch no buttons anymore.
So Santa, I'm going to ask you this, but I want you to think about it. What is like the apex event that you want to get to? I imagine in where do you live in near Atlanta or like wherever you?
I live about an hour north of Atlanta.
Okay, so like, what is your buddy Doug obviously must have some good gigs. So what are you aspiring towards?
Oh, I kind of talked about it earlier. Everything with I would
TV,
love to do.
You said? Okay.
With the TV and doing a cruise.
Oh, the cruise. Okay.
Because I know
30
there are
seconds.
Santas who are hired to do cruises, and they go out and they stay out for a few weeks at a time. I think one guy did 20 days of Santa Claus on the cruise line, and I
That
think
would
he
be
did
really
it
cool.
with Disney. And for me, that'd be great just to be able to go around and see places because I don't fly anymore.
Oh, you don't?
Okay. We got a couple questions coming in from Douglas and Hines.
Killed by
Here we go.
SRN News.
AM 1220 KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kym McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So Santa, real quick before we get to some questions from the studio audience, you want to go to Santa School or Santa College? What's the curriculum like? How long does that take? How do you apply? How does that work?
Well, the Santa School that we have here in Atlanta, Georgia, is actually a pretty world-renowned school, and it's just only like a whole weekend, but they really dive deep into portraying Santa Claus, but it's about coming off and being realistic and just how we portray ourselves in front of the public, because we don't want to do anything to bring Santa down and make Santa Clauses look bad. We don't want to do anything like that. Plus, this school also goes into the deeper dive of the business side of it, how to get gigs, how to do contracts and stuff like that. So there's a lot more to it. I did everything without contract this year, except for when I was doing it with Gig Salad. They have their own contracts that is done, but everything I did privately was just me going out there talking to people and saying, "Hey, you need Santa Claus," and I got them through Facebook.
Are there Santas that I just saw the movie Bad Santa a few weeks ago. Are there
I kind
Santas
of
that are
prefer
bad?
the Santa Claus.
I have not seen anybody doing the bad Santa.
Okay,
I
good,
see
good.
I see a lot of Viking Santas, and they're like Nordic,
Oh,
and
okay.
they look darker. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
that's a darker look. Or they kind of like their suits are like a smoky, grayish color, and stuff like that. So there are different versions, and everybody chooses their own version of what they want to do. Traditional. This year, I'm pretty much straight traditional Santa Claus. Everything. If you ever see like this white stripe here, if you see a suit without a white stripe and it's all red, that's called the Coca-Cola Santa, because the original Coca-Cola Santa was all red, only had white fur around at the bottom and on the cuffs and everything. So everything else was red, and he even had red gloves on in the original print ads.
Is there any way that you would know as just a layperson that, hey, this Santa went to Santa School. This Santa has the certificate from Santa School. How would we know, or would we know?
Well, if we put it out there that we've gone to the school, and a lot of us will put that in like a shortened version of a resume for Santa Claus, and saying, okay, I've been to Santa School. I know I can direct photographs, because that's one thing I've learned is I've had to learn how to direct photography shoots, because I work with photographers who don't know how to pose people for pictures with Santa Claus. Because sometimes you have people standing next to you and I'm sitting down. Well, what do they do with their hands? It doesn't look natural if their hands are just hanging by their side. So I'll tell them, I'll just whisper to them, hey, put your hand on my shoulder, stuff like that. But that's all stuff you will learn in Santa School.
What
Luckily,
about, sorry, what about like specs for the beard? Does the beard have to be a certain length, or, do you have to eat extra amount of
The
cookies?
specs, even for the
Like the
specs.
specs. I mean, do you have to weigh a certain amount? I mean, I don't know. I'm just
Santas come in all shapes and
different shapes.
sizes.
All right, all right, all right.
And I'm part of the real beard Santa groups.
Okay.
And there are Santa Clauses who use the fake beard and the wigs and stuff like that. And I just decided to go all natural instead of doing, I tried the beard before, the fake beard. I did not like the feel of it. And some of the beards, people have gone and they get these beards that cost $2,000-$3,000 for a beard set.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's serious business.
Serious
Holy
business.
cow.
Oh, it's big business. It's very big
Well,
business.
I want to
the
jump to
potential-
Douglas. Douglas has a question for you, Santa Rob. Go ahead, Douglas. Ask your question.
Yeah, okay, Santa. Next, I promise I'm gonna be a good guy this year. I don't need to lay 3,000, but the 2,500 would work great. So if you don't do that next year. Now,
Hey, he's been getting in his steps, Santa Rob. He's been walking.
I've been seeing that. You've been doing a lot of good walking.
walking amongst here this morning, you and I have talked before, and I think you and I have discussed this. Look, and I think you said it a minute ago. It's fascinating to hear your story about the different areas of your life that have gotten you where you are today. The work you've done. Remember all the trail walking and where you wanted to go with that. And isn't it amazing how God? I don't want this to sound bad, but some of the things you've been through have gotten you where you are today. Isn't it amazing how your God and the universe works to get us where we need to be? And listening to you, and from you and I talking before, I can hear that spirit in you that is really just amazing. And how I want to just, I absolutely 100% believe you are where you are today, and where it's going to go from here is just, you're doing exactly what you need to be doing, my friend.
Well, as you know, with PAD, we go through these up and down valleys of life, everything where we hit very low lows and times when we don't feel very, very good. So I think one of my breakthroughs for me was when I got down and prayed to God to give me a purpose for something in my life. And I honestly believe that's why he brought Doug into my life, to show me that I could do something that has brought me more joy than anybody could ever really understand. I mean, my parents, they said when I talked to them, they said, we can hear it in your voice. You sound different. You're not as down as you usually are, because we're having a struggle, and with the struggles comes mental health problems. Everything. I wouldn't say that I get real bad off, but there are times where I just kind of shutter myself and kind of stay low. And I know Kym probably gets upset at me at times because she's like, hey, you need to get out and do this and do that. And I'm like, no, I just rather stay home and sit and wallow in my pity. But I honestly think that God has really stepped up and said, this is where you need to be, and we're going to push you on this path.
I would never get upset at you. I just saw your potential, right? You know that
Exactly.
I've always believed in you so wholeheartedly. And this just warms my heart to see that you have found something that is your purpose, that is bringing you so much joy in your life, that you're no longer defining yourself by your disease, by PAD. You've found a way to find purpose with PAD.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And that.
And no, I was just thinking, Rob, like, think about I love Christmas. I love the holiday season because it brings out the best in people. And I was talking to a patient the other day, and they said, "Man, I wish people acted the way they act around Christmas year round." And so people are coming to see you. I waited in line for an hour and a half to see Santa last weekend. And
Wow.
we do it every year with my kids from when they were little to now. The oldest is 22. They all get a picture with Santa, and we have it each year. And I mean, those are cherished memories, and it's fantastic. And people are at their best when they come to see you, and you help bring that out. So that's powerful, and you got to be proud of what you're doing. Now, I got to ask real quick, is there a Mrs. Claus? Do you have to have a Mrs. Claus, or how does that work
The
to
the
complete
Mrs.
the ensemble?
the Mrs.
I think
the
Mrs.
Mrs.
Claus will
Claus is
come.
not necessary. I
Okay.
am. I don't have a Mrs. Claus yet. Who knows? Maybe one day God will bring Mrs. Claus
All
to me,
right.
and somebody who's willing to dive into it and have just as much fun as I have with it.
That's awesome.
Well, coming up next, right here on the Heart of Innovation, we still have a question coming in from the live studio audience. We'll get to that in just a moment. So stay with us right here on the Heart of Innovation on KDOW. Don't go away. This is such a fun show. This
Like hiring elves. Who asked that?
I
How do you-
know it's Douglas.
hiring
Yeah.
any elves. Douglas
Oh,
wants to be an
okay,
elf.
to hire any else. I think I could apply for an elf job.
That's what I keep telling my son. I said, you need to become an elf. Or actually, I want him to get in the Grinch costume. Because honestly, the Grinch, you don't have to show your face. It's just all
30
about
seconds.
attitude. in the
And
costume.
John, do you want to get to Heinz?
Yep.
And then we'll close out.
30 seconds. Breathe, breathe, breathe.
Good work, Santa.
Thank you.
You need to move some of that hair up there on top, though, don't you?
Yeah, I kind of slid off the top down here.
Paid for by the
That's
Detox
what
and Treatment Helpline.
But I'm starting to grow it out and back.
KDOW.
Welcome back to the Heart of Innovation. For more on today's topic, go to theheartofinnovation.org. That's theheartofinnovation.org. Once again, here's Emmy Award-winning journalist Kym McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr. John Phillips.
It's hard to believe we only have 4 more minutes with Santa, but nonetheless, in 361 days, 13 hours, 6 minutes, and 34 seconds, he will be back in our chimneys. But as we wrap up the show, Santa, Rob, we've got a question from Heinz in the studio audience. Heinz, what's on your mind?
Hey, Santa Bob, as pad warriors, we have to watch what we eat. How are you resisting temptation? Because I'm sure you're offered milk and cookies and other good stuff.
Well,
That's the best question ever, Santa Rob.
It's actually kind of funny because the month before, leading up to me being Santa Claus, I actually lost 15 pounds and everything. So, and I don't eat a lot of sweets and stuff like that. I've never really been a big, huge sweet eater or thing. So, I mean, I just learned to stay away from it. And I could always use the excuse when I get people who ask me to eat with them all the time. And I just use the excuse that I don't eat when I'm wearing my suit. And they understand.
Yeah, you don't want to get it dirty.
No, because these actually can't be even dry cleaned because dry cleaners will turn my fur pink.
Oh,
So
no.
I don't want to so everything is hand cleaned, everything. And yeah, so I've had candy cane smeared on my outfit and I just take water and kind of dab it
Anybody
off. And
puke on you? Any vomit?
Nope.
Oh, okay,
no
that's good.
puke.
That's
No babies peeing on me yet, thank goodness.
I hope
never
that
know.
happens, huh?
Exactly, it does
Wow.
happen. One of the things I've already decided, I got a red kind of blanket. So when I want to do pet pictures, so I can put the pets on my lap. Everything is what I really want to do that. I did a couple, just people have their pets just happen to be there. They're like, hey, you take your pic, will you do a picture? And I'm like, okay. And so I'll do the pictures with their pets, but you never know if they're gonna have an accident on you. So
Yeah, we should do a pause, PAWS pause for PAD event with Santa Claus. That
we
would
can do
be
that.
really fun.
We can do that in July. Christmas in July would be a great
I
time
think
for
that
it.
would be
There you go.
brilliant because
You can
there
walk
is a
the dogs.
study. Yeah, there's a study that shows that people walk 22 minutes more if they have a dog. And so it encourages pet adoptions, especially great for people with PAD that need to walk, walk, walk. So I think that's brilliant.
So Santa, I have to ask, the boots, are they like special made boots, a special made belt? Like the suit, $500, and you said that's maybe on the cheaper end. So
the $500 is for the suit. The belts go upwards of just $200 just for the leather belt, and then the buckles can be anywhere from $80 to $250. So all in all, on my suit, I probably have $700-800 into this suit total. I think, and you can go with cheaper suits. There are some nice suits that people found on Amazon, but I tried one. I didn't like it. To me, it kind of made me look like a I don't know, high society type Santa Claus with the glasses that I had and stuff like that. But I mean, I kind of like the round glasses versus, we have half moon shaped glasses. I didn't like those, but these I really enjoyed. But I've kind of gone all out into this. And I told my buddy, I said, the first year I make $20,000, I'll go buy that $3,000 suit.
Love it. So in the last few moments here, would you mind giving us a ho, 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 Merry Christmas? Offer some inspiration to those with PAD and the world around us.
Well, I just tell everybody with PAD, make sure you keep on walking, and ho, 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 Merry Christmas, everybody. Have a good one.
Winning journalist Kym McNicholas and interventional cardiologist Dr.
Did we end?
good work, Santa.
That was awesome. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Santa, Rob.
Thank you,
That
Kim,
was
for taking
so
the time out
much
of your vacation.
fun. No, I appreciate you taking the time. That was awesome. Yeah, I love the hair. I love that we match. We're both yellow.
Yep. Got
That's
the yellow
hilarious.
That is Rob. That is legit, man. I love it. That is
Thank you.
legit. Next year we're gonna have you on, and I can't. That is the beard. So what are you gonna do? You gonna keep that beard? You trim it? You gotta trim it, right? Yeah.
Well, I had it trimmed the other day just to cut the dead ends off, and then I'll let it grow out. And about once a month, I'll have to bleach it just to keep the roots and stuff from not turning. Because as you see on my hair, I've already got roots starting to show.
I love this Santa Claus with roots.
Yeah.
Exactly. But
brilliant.
I want to
thanks,
keep it.
everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks for joining us. Make sure
Safe
to
travels
like this
home, Kim.
video if you love Santa Rob. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel for more great content like this, because next week we actually have a friend with PAD who used to perform he was a clown in the Barnum and Bailey Circus. So we're going to hear all about that coming up next week. So you don't want to miss it. Thanks everyone for joining us. Happy
Christmas,
holidays
everybody.
and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.